When the supporters of a cult turn from their leader, where do the supporters who continue to support the leader go? Hello, this is NU-Kihe, and welcome to NU-Kihe Explains the World. We have a little bit of breaking news for you. We're going to go about MAGA team responding to Trump. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but a lot of the Trump supporters or people that's actually been in the Trump team have started to turn on him. Actually, it's just because he's gone mad, he's gone crazy, and it's just time for him to go, right? But people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know who Marjorie Taylor Greene was. She was the lady who really got into it with Jasmine Crockett, right? So Marjorie Taylor Greene had words to say. Tucker Carlson has words to say. Candace Owens has words to say, and many more. Megan, what's her name? Megan Kelly, even Megan Kelly. So my question is, if you are a regular MAGA supporter, let's say you're someone who is living in Appalachia or possibly living in Virginia, West Virginia, regular MAGA supporter, you voted for this man to lower your groceries, to lower your gas, and to get rid of the immigrants. But you find yourself working in the factory, 12-hour shifts with the same immigrants working your job beside you or being your supervisors, if that's how you think, if that's your perspective of work and immigrant and people, you still see that. You leave from your 12-hour work to stop to get some gas, and it's incredibly high. And you want to get something to eat for your family, and that too is high. So now you've worked all this time, and yes, you've worked 12-hour days, and you might have just worked the regular 40 hours. Most of that money is gone. So you get into the overtime. Now you add overtime to your life. So tell me, you're doing this and you see the leaders, main people, leaving him and then him attacking them. What do you do? That's the question that I'm asking. So anyway, without further ado, here is some of the breaking news. We're going to start with what Marjorie Taylor Greene recently had to say. Check it out.
Yeah, that post last week got a lot more attention, where the president said a whole civilization will die tonight. And former Congresswoman Greene, you posted about that after the president had made that threat. He went off on Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, several people who have been pretty big champions of his in the past, and he also went after you. You responded to that post about a whole civilization will die with, in all caps, 25th Amendment and 3 exclamation points. Do you really think that the president should be removed from office?
I think we have to truly question the mental stability of any president that threatens to wipe out an entire civilization of people. That would include all the innocent people in that country that have nothing to do with the war, especially after President Trump said this was about freeing the Iranian people from the Iranian regime. So for him to call to wipe out an entire civilization of people is absolutely wrong. But, here I want to talk tonight about the reason why we're having this discussion is Ro Khanna and I both are willing to say that the current center of right and left that have been coming together for decades have failed Americans. And Ro and I, just like he said, we're completely different. I'm unapologetically pro-life. I'm against the trans agenda on children. I'm against the Green New Deal. I'm for very secure borders and a strong economy and a smaller government. But the current center, right, and left that coalition in America have got us in $40 trillion in debt, have funded foreign war after foreign war after foreign war, and now funding another one, and they will be, and we don't know how long this will go. And it's gotten to a point where Americans can't afford life, Caitlin. And so Roe and I, we exchanged comments on social media saying that we recognize how for the left and the right to come together and find issues that we can work together on. But Roe and I did that on the Epstein files, and it was incredibly important. And there's also issues.
Yeah, that post last week got a lot more attention, where the president said a whole civilization will die tonight. And Congresswoman, former Congresswoman Green, you posted.
He called you low IQ, a nut job, a fool. Also, he suggested you should see a good psychiatrist. Are you going to continue to love him?
As I've said, I feel sorry for him as I do for all slaves, but I will always like him. I will say Trump is one of the funniest people I've ever met. I feel sorry for him. I think he has some great qualities. I've certainly spent a lot of time with him, and I will always like him. If he called me now, I'd take the call. I don't want anything from him.
Well, he says he doesn't. He
people...
says you're always calling him, and he doesn't pick up anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that's not true. You can check my phone records, but I'm sure NSA already is. I'm not defensive about it.
What do the splits in the MAGA movement that we see now, former Trump allies like yourself, on the front foot criticizing the president and the action he's taken, what do they mean for the future of MAGA?
I think MAGA as a movement was never clearly defined, right. Probably for a reason. There was no real platform in the Republican convention in 2024. That was, of course, by design. And so I think the movement is whatever Donald Trump says it is. I think that's the definition. I don't know another. He turns 80 in June. So this is not a movement that's going to, persist through the generations, I wouldn't think, since it's based on one man. But the idea that the U.S. government should act in the interest of its own population, or that any government should act in the interest of its own population, is a kind of core tenet of democracy. In fact, that's the definition of democracy, the people rule. And I think that will long outlive all of us, I hope, because it's the only form of government that makes inherent sense.
I wanted to ask you about the Melania Trump press conference.
Mike was muted. We were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene's response, and the fact that she is moving away from the MAGA support group and moving into the regular support group, I guess you could say. But she's working with Democrats. She's working with Democrats to do things that are right. So that is what we were talking about. That's what I was talking about when I was muted. And then we went and we saw the video. Oh my